Jesus is a friend of mine.
Jesus is my friend.
Jesus is a friend of
I
mine.
have a friend in Jesus.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
Fuck you, you creep. Please don't.
Jesus wept.
Tell the sheriff I shot him.
I got plans for you. I'm gonna slit your eyelids in half so you don't blink when I stab you in the face.
I don't know what death is.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
We're rolling.
Does that Freddie Mercury doll you have talk?
Oh, of course.
Oh,
You want me
boy.
to
He
start
does
the
more
podcast?
than talk.
That's too close, Derek. Do you want me to start the podcast with Freddie?
Yep. Yeah. That
Wait for it.
Radio Gaga.
Radio 1, 2.
Where can a guy get a yellow coat like that?
You can't.
Can you stop it?
That was my. That is my 18-inch NECA Freddie Mercury that I saw used for sale online now on eBay for $400 and something. Not
Oh,
even
boy.
in the box.
Oh my god.
That's what is singing us in. He's
That's going to be worth more than gold soon, Steve.
to me.
I think
it
it already
was. It already was when I first got it.
Was when I bought it.
I was when I got it for Christmas from my parents.
Oh, wow.
My parents paid in gold.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're still rolling. You can go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Hey, this is your host, Trevor, with Blood, Guts, and B-Movie Trash Talk, and we watch and review movies that you do not have time for. Now, as always, I love to introduce my co-host here, Mr. Steve, don't skimp on the sexy, Norman.
A vial of baby blood.
Hey.
A new one every week.
That's right.
That's my favorite one so far. Vial of baby.
Makes you wonder, why is it baby's blood?
Why, yeah. And we actually have a special guest this time.
He's back-to-back Johnson.
Hey,
He is the father of the Screamin' Twins Brewhouse.
that I am.
He likes baseball. Am I saying that right? Baseball?
Yeah, it's a little bit less on the ace, but yes, baseballs.
Baseballs.
Pronunciation.
Okay.
Exactly.
He's a man that will get hit right in the nostalgia every time you say Leprechaun. Derek, Lieutenant Ray Johnson.
Hey,
Hey.
how's it going?
Hi,
Good.
Derek.
How you doing, Derek?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic.
Awesome. Glad you could make it.
Well, I'm glad that I could make it as well.
Aim that mic into your mouth. It's a
Yes.
microphone.
You put that mic by your mouth like you're about to blow it.
There you go.
Hello, everybody.
That sounds
Oh,
fabulous.
God. Do it again.
suck your mic.
Do it again.
We don't need a repeat of Mitch here because
We love the guy, but his mic tactics are suspect.
yeah, we may have to have him on the show again just to redeem himself because not only was he really quiet, but he was quite the
He was quite the scholar.
the
Was he?
scholar, philosophical individual as well as a theorist.
Which he is. He's a man of many things.
Yes, it is. Leave it to Mitch to be that person.
But,
or those many things.
He brought that one there. But we're not here to talk about that motherfucker today. Let's talk about Leprechaun.
All right. Well, we are. We watched. Had the pleasure of watching. Now we are reviewing Leprechaun, 1993. It's Mark Jones's. Mark Jones, has directed a handful of films.
Yes,
and
he has.
may I add, this is probably his only really
Good
good
one?
movie. Yeah.
Rememberable one.
That's
Yeah.
saying something.
Now, this particular film, as a fun fact, was produced for just under $1 million, which I'm very surprised. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it was filmed and produced for $900,000.
Exactly.
Now, this film grossed $8.6 million, which was quite interesting. Now, a few years later, some of you guys may recall this film, he put out another movie called Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't skimp on the sex, eh?
Well, he
On the
didn't.
skin.
Yeah, he
Or the foreskin.
Now, he put this one out with hopes that another child story turned horror movie would grant more success. Now, with this movie, it had a budget of $3 million, and it fucking shit the bed and grossed less than $300,000 in the theater. So,
Lord.
What's his name?
his name is Mark Jones.
Okay.
Who?
Mark Jones. Now, like I said, he's only directed a few movies. He's primarily a writer in Hollywood. He's had some good success writing. But he just couldn't let Leprechaun go. Now, he only directed the first one and wrote the first one, but he's continued to work on the whole franchise. Like, as working on video
And
and
they just keep going
character
more and more
development.
shitter.
Yeah, well, fun fact, too, with this is that I found out just recently that they put out a reboot of this.
The Origins?
Yeah, the Origins. Yeah, garbage. And it was a Lionsgate WWE studio
Oh. Was
combo.
Was Kane the leprechaun?
Kane. I don't think so, but it was just recently released, and I know nothing about it.
Well,
And I don't know if I'll watch it or not. I'm not sure. But
Losing my interest just talking about
what's
it.
crazy about it, you briefly mentioned it, was that it was a child's. It was a movie
yeah,
made for children, and then they realized it would sell a lot better as
Yeah.
a rated R horror film, so they just shot a bunch of fucking horror and gore after.
yeah, they just took these like child concepts and turned them
Wait,
into
that happened with this movie?
Yes, Leprechaun.
well, like just the whole traditional like Leprechaun. He really I don't think was
That explains
thought
the
as a
shoe.
violent.
Yeah, and the random acts of gore.
Yeah, I don't think he as a children kind of.
He's too scary looking for children to love.
But
Like,
That's not what they originally shot.
Yeah, if you look at like books and folk tales and stuff, he isn't like this heinous, disgusting looking asshole that kills people. Yeah,
He's
but,
lucky.
one.
Lucky charm.
but I think those kind of movies are successful when they take something that children like and put kind of a scary twist on it. But anyhow,
Fucked up, horrible twist on it.
as Steve would say, I digress.
Yeah. Well,
Now, typically, I jump right into the review here, start out with the movie, but I feel like Steve has a question that he just has to ask me.
oh yeah. Something about back of the box. Sum it up. Little
Something.
tiny paragraph. Probably what they put on the back of the box. If you don't have the box ready, I have the box.
I actually think I could come up with something here.
Sweet. Let's hear it.
Okay, so a horrific leprechaun, Warwick Davis, goes on a rampage after his precious bag of gold coins is stolen. He uses all of his magical destructive powers to trick, terrorize, and kill everyone who is unlucky enough to hinder his relentless search. In a frantic attempt to survive the wrath of the leprechaun, Tori, Jennifer Aniston, with many pre-facial reconstructive surgeries, and her friends scramble to find the only weapon known to kill this Irish monster, a four-leaf clover. However, until they discover a four-leaf clover or return all the gold taken from the rainbow's end, their fairy tale nightmare has only just begun. Ooh.
Sounds interesting.
Very interesting. Now, this film I've seen more times than I can count. It is kind of a nostalgic thing. You guys feel the
That
same
many
way?
times?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it that
I
many
think we
times.
should. Okay, Trevor. I want to hear what your before we get into any of this.
Yeah.
I want to hear your first time you've seen this.
Okay.
And your thoughts back then, and then we'll get into what you thought now at the end of the show.
Okay.
And then let's do that for all of us.
Sure. Thinking back, I don't think I could honestly recall the first time I watched this because I watched it so often. It was like, to me, it was like one of those. It was like the go-to VHS. Like I'd go to the like Blockbuster or Top Hat Video or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Nate
they
drop.
wouldn't have the movie I wanted, so I was like, oh, well, looks like I'm renting Leprechaun, and so
Leprechaun night, baby.
I'd pick up Leprechaun and watch it. But I think around the first time I watched this was probably when I was under 10 years old with my cousins, and it was creepy.
Yeah.
Not only
the
because
least.
the man's under 4 feet tall, an illegal handicap, but because he's just grotesque looking and kind of creepy. So
Fucking magic.
yeah, how about you?
The first time I ever saw it, this is one of the. if I think back as far as I can think, when I was a little kid, one of the first few things I can remember is, I think it's Friday the 13th Part 6.
Oh.
Wow.
But the next, like, full horror... I can only remember, like, some scenes from there. But then, like, first full horror movie I can remember watching is this one. And my grandma... I was, like, really young child. Like, couldn't have been older than first grade. And my grandma used to take me and my cousin to the video store, and she'd rent this for us, and we'd watch it downstairs. And I remember just, like, being so... Every time after, being so afraid of, like, that little fucking
Of a midget.
creep popping out, like, at me. So,
Yeah,
I've seen it quite a number of times, and it was definitely, like, one of the first horror movies I saw. Derek?
The first time I ever saw this movie, I was about the exact same age as Steven. About first grade. 5 or 6. And it was literally the first time I can even recall seeing a clip of a horror film or anything gorish ever.
really.
And I was at my buddy's house across the street, and he had put it on right after, watching some cartoon or whatever, and it literally scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so scared of the movie, I didn't watch it again until probably, how old was I? Maybe 13, 14 years old, when me and you and Alex all sat down together and watched it.
God, I hope you were older than 14, because we drank some
Okay,
Jack Daniels.
maybe about 17 or 18.
Okay, that sounds more right.
Either way, I didn't watch it for a long time, but I mean, it was the first horror film I've ever even witnessed.
We stupidly decided to watch 1, 2, and then
3.
In the Hood is what we went with next, and it killed our marathon.
Yeah. And then they did Back to the Hood, which was the final, like, it's the last one before the
monstrosity.
prequel.
The all anal fun.
Or not the prequel, but the reboot. Yeah, I never watched that, but yeah, this is definitely this earns cult classic. I think everybody. This is probably the one film that we've reviewed so far that people have fucking definitely seen.
Yeah.
I think
That at least 75% of people
and if you haven't killed
you
yourself,
talk to, yeah.
Would you say that this thing warrants a little NECA figure?
Yeah, what I don't know.
Because
Understand?
I'd like to have one of those along with Harry Warden, dude.
Yeah, no McFarlane, nothing.
Yeah, even those second-rate ones, like McFarlane can't even make one.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
It would be an awesome figure.
yeah. I don't understand that. And we also talked about the fact that they should have done Neon Maniac ones as well.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. And
Yeah.
the cards.
That'd be a sweet little setup.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
The cards, maybe a little bit less, but more on the action figures.
Mm-hmm.
It came with gum.
Yes.
Tattoos of Neon Maniacs. The like.
Lick and stick on.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I guess we can jump into this and start reviewing it.
Might as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll start with the beginning of this. Now, a creepy little man dressed in green walks into a cold, dark, dungeon-like place down these stone steps. He walks towards a pot of gold and recites a fancy little spell or little...
Do you have that quote?
Oh, I do.
Can you do it in the voice?
No, I can't.
Can you do it anyway?
Can you try?
Try as they will. Try as they might. Who steals me gold won't live through the night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's basically what he says. It then jumps to a fancy little scene with a fancy little limo that pulls up to a shitty old farmhouse. The man in a white suit walks out of the limo and polishes off a bottle of Jameson, throws it to the ground.
Irish
Classic
whiskey.
choice.
That was a good choice.
Dirt front yard.
Yeah, dirt front yard, but
Sexy.
he's definitely
Wife.
setting up the scene that he's Irish.
And drunk.
Mm-hmm. Irish.
Come on, Derek.
Yeah,
Of
okay,
course.
fine, Irish.
He then heads towards the house, and his name is Daniel O'Grady. And Daniel O'Grady is the man in the suit, and the lady on the porch is his wife. He traveled to Ireland to bury his mother and caught a wee man, or a leprechaun, as us individuals would call it.
A wee person.
A wee person, and he stole the leprechaun's gold. And his wife believes nothing of it. She thinks he's just fucking drunk and
Has
a
this random
buffoon.
gold.
Mm-hmm. But the wife decides to, say, hey, go inside, go to bed, I'll make some tea, whatever. Now, she begins to hear a voice in Dan's suitcase. And the voice is singing a children's song, or some sort of children's song. And then, as she gets closer and closer to it, she starts hearing the voice ask to be let out of the case because it can't breathe.
I'm going to suffocate.
Yes, exactly. So the wife opens the case, and a heinous little green man pops out, asking for its gold.
Good word.
Yeah, heinous. Now, it then spooks Dan's wife, and she falls down the stairs. And I would assume here that she's definitely dead on impact.
Did she fall, or did he push her? Because if you watch, I mean, he throws his arms up at the same time she goes, what? And falls. So it's like, I think he kind of pushed her.
I don't know.
He was trying to get her to...
Maybe.
I had always assumed that he pushed her.
But why would you push her if you
with
asked
her?
Exactly.
Or
But
with his mind power.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't think I didn't see that he pushed her, but it seems that he used his secret powers to make her fall down the stairs.
either
Whatever
way.
he did, she looked good doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, she falls down, snaps her neck, and the camera slowly travels up the stairs to show the leprechaun. And you can hear him talk, and all of a sudden the thunder and lightning outside flash, and you can see his face. And that's the introduction of the leprechaun, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Well, it's quite the intro because it's one of the only deaths in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call out there because, I mean, there's only a
Gotta
couple.
realize.
Yeah, there's only a couple.
But they're good.
And when I first watched this, I don't want to already spoil something.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Like I just did? Or what?
Yeah, it's okay. That's what we do. We spoil.
Spoiler. I mean,
Yeah.
if you haven't watched this by now, you're not going to.
That is true.
But I recall watching this and thinking, as we're going to get into this, that O'Grady died. And it's a little plot twist at the end. But
Yeah, he like has a. It looks like he has a heart attack. He's like, "Ugh," and
It does.
and he's trying to.
but apparently he has a stroke, not a heart
Oh,
attack.
did you say
right?
that we're gonna get into this?
Oh, we're walking right into when
okay.
Dan sees us. So good old Mr. O'Grady goes outside, hides the gold, and walks back into the house. Now the leprechaun is in another room, and he's using Dan's wife's voice, asking where he put the gold. Where did you put the gold, Dan? And he finds out that it's the leprechaun using the voice, and the little man walks out to the kitchen with the tea. And Dan wants to know where his wife is, and the leprechaun states, "Oh, the poor lass, I should have told her to watch her step."
Oh,
Because imagine we shove her down some steps and kill their bitch ass.
Yeah.
cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded. So Dan runs to his room and grabs a gun, but not before he grabs a 4-leaf clover. You know, you always have to keep these handy.
That's using your ass.
Mm-hmm. Now, he walks back in the room and he shoots the leprechaun and starts chasing him down the stairs. Now, the leprechaun uses Dan's wife as a puppet when they get down there, which I thought was pretty funny. He's using her voice and shaking her head, and
Because he can take on other voices.
He can.
The gold back to the nice little leprechaun.
Yeah, stuff like that, which I thought was pretty funny. He's taunting Dan, but Dan shoots the leprechaun once again, and this wounds the leprechaun enough for Dan to be able to pick him up and put him into this convenient wooden crate located next to the stairs in the basement.
Dead wife or not, he ain't giving up the loot.
Yeah,
It's his gold. He got it fair and square.
Fair and square.
They're are the rules.
So he puts the leprechaun in the crate, and then puts the lid on the crate, and grabs the 4-leaf clover and puts it on top of the crate, because apparently this eliminates the leprechaun's use.
I'm just saying,
If
you've got a 4x4 crate in your basement, you might as well have a package of nails and a Gatorade bottle and a hammer handy.
Yeah, I think
You never know what you're going to want to have to throw in there.
Yeah, he may have had that, for his wife eventually to throw her in there. That's what I'm thinking. But he throws the leprechaun in there, nails it shut, puts the 4-leaf clover on the top, and then pours gasoline all over it.
It seems like it's going to ruin the 4-leaf clover before it kills the leprechaun.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's what I thought too. Like, why would you do that? Like, over time, that it's going to kill the plant. What are you doing?
Then he's going to be able to hop out of the fire.
Yeah, but at this point, this is where I thought Dan was dead. But he's actually, we find out later on that he's actually not dead. But
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, he walks back upstairs to get matches, I believe. Steve, is that right?
That and his wife was up there with him in the kitchen.
No, his wife is dead downstairs.
But when
He
you
hauls
see him
her
lighting
back
the match, her feet are right there up on the top.
Yeah,
of the
but
stairs,
that's because he drags her
Oh,
back
yeah,
up.
he
That's
hauls her back
That's
up.
why he
Okay.
went up. He went up to burn it.
Oh, because he's going to
Derek
burn his
watched
house.
this 5 times in anticipation of this
You
episode.
just stop that right now.
He's got every detail down.
All right, well, will take advantage of that. But
He
yes,
does.
you're right. He does pull her up the stairs because I'm assuming he's going to light the whole basement on fire.
And then
He
bail,
doesn't-
I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
I'm sure the house is still in his name, so they're going to be trying to track him down.
insurance fraud. He gets upstairs and finds the matches and decides that he's going to burn the leprechaun here, and has a classy little line here.
Born in hell, you little green bastard!
Yes. He's up for trouble down there.
But I don't know if the leprechaun uses his powers as he lights this match to blow it out.
Well, the thing is the whole time that he's got him in the crate and everything, Leprechaun just keeps telling him, "Quit straining yourself so much, Dan. Quit straining yourself. You're gonna hurt yourself, you know." And
You're
then
gonna have a stroke. Yeah,
I think it was
But
a stroke.
it's hard to decide. Like, I think it had to have been natural causes because I thought that the clover on top of the thing negated his powers.
Yeah, that's
because
what I thought.
otherwise he could just bust out of there.
Exactly. But I don't know because you hear him. Your match go out.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
He shouldn't have been able to do it.
I guess you can kind of
One or the other should have happened.
yeah. I guess you can kind of interpret it the way you
Either
want.
one. And that's what's great about it. They do this a lot through the whole movie.
Because he does mention,
They
as
leave a lot up to you.
we'll get further, but he does mention that his powers are kind of weak and it takes some time to
Oh
regain
God, some great exposition.
them. Yeah, but
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on.
yes. My powers, they're a little weak now, but the percentage will raise a bit in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, if you leave your shoes out, I'll clean them.
Oh, dude, that's great. I think this is that's a
That's one of
hilarious
the best
part.
parts.
Oh. But the next scene, it jumps to I call this the homage or a blatant rip-off of The Shining. 10 years later, it says across the screen, and it shows
Say this about everything.
dude, it fucking really is. Like,
Everything
they watched
just rips
that.
off The Shining.
Not The Shining. But rips off movies. That happens a
It
lot.
rips
People do
off
that.
Nightmare on Elm Street, sure a bit.
Yes, it does, and we'll get to that. But you see the car in the distance, and they're going through the mountains. It's showing a beautiful, beautiful helicopter shots of the landscape and blah, blah, blah. Then you see this car with a Jeep.
New Mexico.
And there's, yeah, she definitely says that. But there's two characters in this Jeep. I just called this character Jen, but I found out her name is Tori. And the reason I call her Jen is because it's Jennifer Aniston.
You wouldn't notice behind all that nose.
Yeah,
Just
that
kidding.
honker. But Jennifer Aniston sits in the passenger seat, and her father's driving. Now they're heading towards a new house that the father's purchased.
And what a rugged, good-looking dad he is.
Yes, he's that rugged, outdoorsy type, and his daughter is that materia girl. Kind of wishes that she lived in L.A., and I think she says that, but
Several times.
Instead of New Mexico, which is where they currently aren't.
Well,
Aren't?
yeah. Well, what New Mexico, isn't it? It's North
South
Dakota.
Dakota,
South
North
Dakota.
Dakota or something.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous. And it looks nothing like North Dakota because this was shot in Southern California.
It did look
Looked
more like New Mexico.
Now, they get to the house, and Jen, or Tori, continues to complain about how big of a shithole this place is. And the father decides to give her a tour. Now, they go through the house, check out everything, and they decide that they have one last stop, and that's the basement. Now, it's covered in dust, spider webs, you name it. And the daughter sees a spider and runs out of the basement.
That wasn't just any ordinary spider, though.
That was this fucking tarantula.
That was a big-ass
Now,
tarantula.
I am no man of the Dakotas because I've never been there.
Sure.
But
The arachnids?
correct me if I'm wrong, that type of spider would not be in North Dakota, right?
It's like a desert spider.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I said
But
when I
that's-
watched it. I was like, that couldn't have been there.
It's kind of like where they are, and that's the whole point.
Well, they're
I don't
supposed to-
understand it.
They're supposed to be in North Dakota,
Supposed to be.
but this is... I mean,
It's obviously the desert.
if you search this, it's shot in Southern California.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying for the point of the movie, like the sake of the movie.
They
Sure.
could have
Makes
just
no
showed
sense.
a Black Widow. And
They should-
it would've
yeah,
been
they should've-
fine, but they had to show some tarantula walking through the...
So is this part of the elf's tricks, or is this because the people that made this movie are stupid?
See, I think
Well,
you're
yeah.
onto something, Steve, because I think it could be his powers. They're weak,
It could be.
and he could just be, playing some tricks, trying to get people scared. But
Or they were just stupid, and then afterwards, like, it was leprechaun, leprechaun.
yeah.
It was a leprechaun that night.
Yeah. So Jen, or Tori, decides to leave that shithole and go outside and call a hotel she's going to go stay at the nearest hotel possible because she's that material girl. She doesn't want any of it.
Honestly, I don't blame her.
Neither do I.
It is a
This
shithole.
place is a fucking dump.
Yeah. But she walks outside and bumps into the hunk. Nathan the hunk.
Mm-hmm.
And as she bumps into him, she's making a reservation on the phone, and he drops some paint thinner all over the ground, which probably killed the weeds.
I don't know, but he made it sure seem like it was more worth than $20.
You could have said thank you.
Yeah.
That would cover it.
I'm sorry. You could have said sorry. That would cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was not covering with paint.
I was
thinner,
lost in.
Then you hand me $20.
Yeah.
You're a 30-year-old man painting
was-
fucking houses for a living. If somebody gives you a $20 bill, you fucking take it.
A
I
hot
was
bitch runs
lost in
into
his
you.
sweet mullet.
Yeah. Well, it's hard not to.
In his purple shirt with the ripped off sleeves.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He should have been in
wait.
Bon Jovi.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he the lead singer?
So she tries to pay him off.
And he has.
He wants a thank you, but he won't even accept it. Or a sorry, but he won't even accept anything like that.
Yeah.
Jen meets Nathan, his brother, and the retard.
The
There you
retard.
go.
Their retard.
They're retard.
Yeah, so she's introduced to, she bumps into the hunk, Nathan. She's introduced to Alex, the little child. And she's also introduced to, I believe his name is...
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
The residential
Retard alert, class.
These, I guess all three of these guys work together and they paint houses in this
Three
town.
guys and paint service or whatever.
Three guys that paint.
Yeah, three guys that paint. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's clear to me here already that Tori wants to jump Nathan's bones. She wants to...
She wants to put it in her...
She wants his seed.
She wants to do to Nathan what years later she would want to do to Charlie Day in Horrible Bosses.
Yeah. Yeah. So she decides that she's going to cancel the hotel
Reservation.
stay. So she just shuts her phone off and tells her dad that, hey, you know what? I'm going to stay here. I want to stay here to help you out.
I want to do this, dude.
Yeah, and she wants to, get impregnated and have a bastard child because this guy is not a father.
Nope.
He's not going to take care of a child. You can tell. No one with a purple.
He's an older brother, but he's not a dad.
No one with a purple t-shirt or purple fucking dress shirt with the sleeves ripped off. Fucking
All painting.
takes care of children.
Plays by his own set of rules.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. So now we touch base a bit more on the retard here. So the fat retard's telling a story about a flying saucer to this little boy, which is Alex. The little boy interrupts the story by shooting Ozzy in the face with a slingshot. He picks on this guy quite a bit.
He spits out his gum and puts it in the slingshot.
Oh,
And then he hits him with it. That's even worse than just hitting somebody with something with a slingshot.
Yeah, that's way more degrading.
Nasty gum.
I'm glad you watched this 5 times because I didn't even know that was gum.
Missed no details.
Yeah.
I seen that on the last run. I was like, that was his gum.
So
Gross.
So Alex, the little boy, and Ozzy and the hunk, like we said, are all painting this house, and Ozzy himself decides to go into the basement, I guess, to go check things out. And
Ozzy does?
yeah, he goes down. But why does he go down in the basement? I don't remember.
Well, he gets that paint spill on him.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
old Jennifer Aniston offers her bathroom, whatever. He goes in there and he
And
starts
be-
pulling his tricks and starts
being-
singing Twinkle.
Yeah, being as he's retarded, he's easily distracted.
Sure.
He hears a girl singing, and he wants to go downstairs to find out what she's doing.
Sure. Oh, but before he goes downstairs, Jennifer Aniston walks down in the basement because because I guess Nathan goes down there to grab some tools or whatever. But she goes down there with a cold beverage, and she's looking around for him, and she can't find him. And Nathan, the future hunk that will be knocking her up in the years to come, spooks her, and the drink is spilled all over the crate that's holding the green bastard. Now, before they can open it, Ozzy screams outside, and they attend to Ozzy and find out that he spills the paint all over him.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she goes down there to make a peace offering.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know she's down there, and he can't hear her, so he throws some tarps from upstairs downstairs.
Okay.
Lands right on top of her. He just smashes her, and she just throws the fucking Kool-Aid or whatever the fuck it is.
Gotcha.
In 93 on the old wrinkly bastard. That's when he wakes up, and he's like, wait a second.
Whoa.
That's when all comes to the little
Gotcha. So, like we said, Ozzy screams, and so Jennifer and Nathan run to the alarming sound and see that Ozzy has definitely spilled paint all over himself.
He's done a hell of a job.
He did, yeah.
Again.
I don't even know how that happened, but anyways, Ozzy has to find some place to clean himself off. And he goes inside, he finds a bathroom, he cleans himself off, and he starts...
would have been suitable for this kind of Neanderthal.
Yeah, I mean...
Just spraying the retard with a hose.
This guy doesn't take baths or showers. Like, I'm sure he lives with... He's a 40-year-old Mongoloid that lives with his parents, and they probably just fucking spray him off with a high-pressured hose 3 times a week.
Probably twice as retarded as he is.
But Ozzy finds a bathroom, and he goes and washes up, and he starts hearing a little voice. And it seems that it's coming from the basement. Now he starts walking downstairs, and the voice getting louder, and it's singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
One of the several.
Yeah, so Ozzy walks over to the crate, and he knocks the 4-leaf clover off the box. And immediately the leprechaun's powers are back, and he just shatters through the box and scares the shit out of this mongoloid. Now, the close-up camera of the feet here is hilarious. Because there's like this low-angle camera shot of the little leprechaun feet. It's clicking on the concrete. Dude, it's so funny. I love that.
His 4-inch fucking heels.
Yeah. But the leprechaun asks Ozzy...
Good one.
Oh, Steve's dropped his notes.
No. I'll never find him.
So,
all right, I'm ready.
Okay. The leprechaun asks Ozzy if he's seen his gold. And Ozzy shakes his head no. And the leprechaun says, I'll bite your ear off and make a shoe out of it. Now, is Ozzy the same actor that played in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure?
Oh.
The fat rich kid? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't remember this character.
I think it is the same character.
Is it the same guy?
I think so. I could be wrong.
I'll look.
But Ozzy's completely terrified of this leprechaun, so he runs up the stairs immediately, and before he can completely get out, the leprechaun uses some of his magic to slam the door shut. And apparently the magic doesn't work, because Ozzy just turns the handle and opens the door and walks out.
Gets confused for a second.
And the leprechaun states, my powers aren't back 100% or something, so he's still trying to regain all of his powers.
Powers are weak, something or other.
Yeah, powers are weak. But anyways, Ozzy bursts outside and he tells the story about the leprechaun downstairs. And no one obviously believes him.
It's because it's Ozzy the retard. He's
a retard and he's telling a story about leprechauns.
Yeah, and this sets up the whole boy that cried wolf issue.
Exactly.
Because he's actually, for the first time, he's telling a true story here that he's not making up, and it's going to definitely screw him over in the long run.
Dumbass.
Mm-hmm. So the group begins to hear noises as well from outside, and they decide to walk back in and look around all the shit and stuff in the basement. So they walk around, and Alex and Nathan notice that the noises are coming from the boxes. So they walk over there, and it's just a rat.
This is a rat.
Yeah, and Ozzy insists that the leprechaun was bigger than that. Now, was this the leprechaun playing tricks with the rat? Did he magically turn into a rat? What did he do?
The first sound they heard was on the complete other side of the room.
Yeah.
And then they heard it behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it probably was half leprechaun, half just a fucking nasty rat.
Yeah, I think he's hiding. He didn't turn into a rat.
Yeah.
It shows a camera angle between some boxes and stuff, like he's looking
shifty
at
go-betweens.
Yeah. Well, the group decides to just head back outside, and Alex and Ozzy find a huge rainbow outside.
Oh, yeah.
Conveniently, it hasn't been raining.
And conveniently touches upon a real dumpster.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nice name drop.
Now, Ozzy insists that they chase it and find the end, so that way they can be rewarded some gold. The little boy tells Ozzy, "You're embarrassing me."
And that's low. This kid's how old? Like 8?
Yeah, no older than 8. This kid's probably 2, maybe 2.5 years away from when he consistently shit his pants in diapers. So he's not too old. But they decide to go chase the rainbow, and Alex says that, I'll go chase him off. He gets distracted easy.
Like always.
Yeah. So the fat retard and little boy run towards the rainbow, and Jennifer and Nathan continue to paint. Now Ozzy and the kid find gold inside this busted old truck.
It just appears all of a sudden.
Yeah, so the gold just appears, but before they find the whole case of gold, Ozzy decides that he's going to test out the quality and whether or not it's real. So he decides to take a bite of it. And what does he do?
Oh, God. I saw that gold coin.
Nice going, Jaws.
So he fucking swallows the coin.
He also happens to be the exact same guy off of Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure.
That's what I thought. He looks like
Nailed it, Trevor.
Yeah.
They find some gold and the retard can't help but eat it.
Can't help shove it in his mouth.
He thought it was
Fat
one of
ass.
those fucking gold coin chocolates.
Yeah. I'll tell you if it's real.
Just before that happens, though, just before they find it, the leprechaun mentions he spills his guts about how his powers aren't strong without his gold. Like, so,
Yes.
so
and that he needs his fucking gold.
Yeah, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first of all, that you know he's magic, and then all of a sudden you realize he's not as magic because he doesn't have his gold.
He wants
and
his
that's what
gold
he
so he can sit around
and then he
count
tells
all day.
everybody that too. The
Yeah,
fucking retard.
The
Nobody
more
listens.
Yeah, the more coin he has, the more powerful he is. Now they find the gold and they grab the gold and they decide to hide it because adults tend to be greedy.
They're going to take it away. They want to save that gold so that the retard can get his brain operated.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. He says that we're going to take this gold and get an operation and get your brain fixed.
And
He's just all stupid, doesn't know what's going on. What do you mean, my brain? What's wrong with my brain? I'm smart.
You're dumb. And the child is the one that knows you can't get a brain operation to fix it, but not the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But we jump back to the house here.
Because the 8-year-old's an alcoholic. That's why. He just drinks too much.
Yeah, he probably huffs a bunch of fucking paint thinner. But we go back to the house here, and Jennifer and Nathan are painting the house. And Jennifer is a real pro. I guess Nathan applauds her at her stroking of the house.
I see what he did there. They're painting this atrocious colors.
Yeah, it's
a bright fucking blue and some goddamn barnyard red.
Yeah, doesn't.
That is true.
And they've done a hell of a job painting that thing.
That corner.
Just slathering it on.
Now, with the compliment from Nathan, Jennifer insists that Nathan watch the pro go grab a new bucket and paint. Now, Jennifer walks over and reaches into the truck to grab a bucket of paint, and under the truck, the leprechaun begins caressing her leg. Now, Jen thinks it's Nathan and flirtatiously it kind of brushes off like, oh, Nathan, stop.
How would he have ever gotten under there on her way to the truck? He just goes this way.
Do you want somebody that's willing to run immediately around a truck and lay under there in the dirt to touch your leg? Do you want that kind of person to be touching your leg? Like, wouldn't you suddenly think, there's something wrong with this guy? I don't want him touching me.
Well, he's trying to hide from JD, the old dad, the old man.
He's
home, remember?
Yeah.
For a short period of time until they get rid of him.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Ditch him at the hospital.
Yeah, they just take him to the hospital and he's done for the rest of the movie.
He's there overnight for observation.
Mm-hmm.
On a scratch.
It was a weak fucking bite. Anyways, we'll get to that. We're coming up on that.
Soon enough.
Yeah. So she thinks it's Nathan until she turns around and sees that he's back painting the house. And so it cannot be Nathan. And all of a sudden she moves away frantically and gets scratched by the leprechaun. And her leg is pretty torn up. And you notice that she's bleeding, and everybody decides to go tend to her because it's everywhere. As they gather around, they notice that there's a cat noise in the background. And the father, JD, insists that, it was just a cat. And so he follows the noise of the cat and finds a hole in a tree and decides to put his fucking hand in a hole.
Stick my hand in that hole, because that'll do.
He's got to find out if that cat's got rabies.
There's only one way to know.
Well, now that we realize it's only a cat, we got to make sure that you're not going to get infected with rabies at 93.
Yeah. So anyways, he sticks his hand in there, gets bit by what is clearly the leprechaun, and they jump into the busted-ass truck, and the truck doesn't start. Luckily, we have Alex, the genius mechanic here, that decides that, that's the distributor cap. He opens the hood, twists the cap, and it starts.
The thing is everybody knows what's wrong with it, but they always make Alex go do it.
Yeah. Why don't they just do it before they get in the car?
Yeah. It happens every time.
Yeah, well, this is a little setup and payoff because we run into issues later on with the truck. They get in. they start the truck and they ride off. And the little green man follows on a trike that he found in the barn. And they play these clips in like fast motion. They speed up the frame.
They're great.
The frame speed, so it's funny. He's fucking just cruising on this little trike. It's pretty funny.
He's hauling ass on that fucking thing.
Yeah. Now they reach the hospital, and Ozzy and the little boy are told to go meet at the restaurant because after they tend to the father, then they're going to get something to eat and head back to the house. However, the little boy and Ozzy decide that it's probably a better idea to take the gold coin to the collector,
Joe's Coins,
to check out the worth of the lot of gold they'd found.
Reliable and friendly.
And all that Joe does is look in a fucking big book to match up the coins. Like, now people could do that on the internet anytime.
Just scan it on their scanner, their printer.
Yeah.
They could just look, like type in like rent. Like, so much stuff is so obsolete.
Nowadays, I'm sure you could just download an app on your phone where you could take a picture of that coin and it would automatically bring up that coin.
What year, what country, what everything.
Yeah. But
Derek,
anyway.
I would like...
Yeah.
Well, why don't you explain them giving the coin to Joe and Joe wrapping that up. And then, Derek, I would like you to explain what happens once trouble ensues in the shop.
Okay. Yeah, so Ozzy and the kid give the coin, and the coin collector basically says, I've never seen anything like this before, and I want to definitely hold on to this for the night to do some further investigation and research on it.
Yeah.
And so they agree to it, and Ozzy and the kid leave, and the coin collector heads towards his book and starts to hear some noises.
Derek, why don't you take this on?
Yeah.
Well, he goes back to his study there. The old coin collector starts looking through some books, and within 2 flips, he's there at this page, and he's like, well, okay, whatever. So then he starts jumping into his safe. Click, 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 whatever. He hears a bell ring of a tricycle. Looks around, whatever. You know, I'm going crazy, I guess. Keeps getting back into his safe, and then a bike fucking hits him on the side.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, now what the hell? So then he just wanders around the room for a minute, looks up the stairs, looks back down, goes back to the safe. There's a Lep, jumps out of the safe and just bites him on the fucking leg, tells him, you give me my goddamn coin. It's not nice to steal from me, you know?
Yeah.
Bites him on the leg, so he finally gives it to him. He's laying there. And the scene presumably ends, and he goes on his merry way. But oh no, here comes the Lep on a pogo stick to jump around about 15 times and then slam him about 15 times in the chest and in the face.
That's a pretty cool.
Kill him.
That's a pretty cool death scene.
And then after he shines his fucking shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't have no dirty shoes. Shines him.
That is awesome. When he
tells him he'll bounce back in no time and then leaves. Got his coin, 99 to go.
Yep. And this is then where Ozzy and Alex head towards the restaurant. Now, Jen and Nathan wait at the restaurant for Ozzy and the kid, and Jen's materialistic LA girl attitude starts coming out. She's talking about how she doesn't eat meat, and
I didn't get the water I wanted and all this fucking bullshit.
I wanted a watercress salad.
I wanted a Fiji and some, something bullshit.
Saltine crackers.
And I love how Nathan just makes her...
Fuck off, lady.
Yeah, Nathan makes her just look like a giant asshole by taking her shoe off and saying, this is made from leather.
Yeah.
So quit being stupid.
You don't kill cows. You don't kill animals. Yeah. That's all your shoe's made of.
One thing you forgot to mention, though, about this coin collector is what the Leprechaun steals from the coin shop.
Ooh. That is correct. The little truck.
Yeah, the little mini car.
Does he steal the coin?
He takes his coin. But he doesn't steal it. He gets his back. Yeah. It's his fucking coins, dude.
We don't know that. He could have stole it from someone else.
But it's
Jesus.
But he takes his mini car and decides to haul ass.
It was lucky that tiny little working car was in that shop.
Yeah.
It was lucky. But he took about half of it with him, so.
But so he decides that he's going to haul in this car and head back to the house so he can search for his gold some more. And he's speeding, and all of a sudden it seems that a cop is lurking in the shadows, and sees that he's going a little too quick here.
What is this? You're going 5 under.
So, Steve, we have definitely reviewed quite a few movies already, and almost everyone has a retarded cop.
Dickhead.
So,
cop.
So to start this out right here, anytime we run into a retard cop situation, we'll start it off like this.
He is cop and he's learning impaired. He's the retarded policeman. That's me.
That is good. That is good. I like that.
Yeah. So, what does the retarded cop do here?
Well, first of all, he go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, he pulls him over.
Mm-hmm.
That is right,
And then he has some ageist things to say.
to say the least.
Derek, you watched this 5 times. Why don't you tell me what happens?
Yeah.
We haven't heard much from Steve. Steve's a little quiet tonight. Why?
I was just going through the motions.
Okay. Well, with
Should have
that,
cranked this one out.
well, with that, the cop asks him if he's a little young to be out this late.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does the leprechaun say, Stephen?
I am over 600 years old.
Exactly.
Yep.
So then he calls him the smartass and kicks his truck and tells him to take off the ugly fucking mask and
First
get out of the
mistake.
truck.
Yeah. That's a big mistake.
You assume somebody's under the age of 8, and then you call them a smartass,
And he
kick their
kicks
truck,
the
and get out and get that ugly fucking face off.
Yeah. And so what does he do to mock the cop at that comment with the whole mask thing? He decides to rip the fucking cop's face off.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, with his claws. So he starts pulling his face off. Now, it then jumps back to the restaurant. Jen and Nathan continue to wait for Ozzy and the little boy, and Jen continues to bitch and moan. And,
Nate presumes to offer meatloaf.
yeah, that nasty-ass plate of food, and just she keeps crying. But then it jumps back to the Leprechaun, and he begins to chase the wounded officers through the forest. Now,
This is a good long scene, too.
it's fucking long.
It's a good one.
And it's
He
especially...
fucks this cop.
Well, first of all, you don't throw your only weapon
Yes,
at the
God,
suspect.
thank you. That's all I think about every time I see this scene is he holds on to that damn thing, even though the leprechaun takes his gun. That's the only thing he got left. In
Yeah.
93, you don't got tasers, you don't got pepper spray, nothing. You've got a nightstick, and this leprechaun's just driving around in circles, and it's obvious that this leprechaun can be wherever the hell he wants, and then all of a sudden, by the 4th, he fucking throws it. Okay.
Mhm.
Why? Why throw your only weapon?
Not a good idea.
Yeah. So he decides to take a quick run for it, and he finds the little green hat. He picks it up,
Mm.
and then you notice the leprechaun's just teleporting everywhere, just playing mind games with him.
Is it just me, or does it seem like this movie would be better if there was like little green shoes next and little green like underwear? Like
Just quit
a
finding the hat.
It would
just
be funny,
everything
just
else.
a trail of everything.
That'd be
Till
fun.
there's a naked fucking
Leprechaun.
jumping on you and killing
just
you.
masturbating behind a
Cutting
tree.
himself in the closet.
Cutting him and crying. Pouring hot wax on his chest from a candle.
And why not?
Now the officer thinks he gets away, but he then bumps into the leprechaun here, and his head's twisted around like I would say Steven Seagal-like. Just fucking quickly snaps his officer's neck.
He fucks around for a bit, gets a good grip on it, and then he's Stephen Hawking the shit out of him.
Stephen
Well,
Hawking.
I don't know if he's Stephen Hawking. I guess you're right.
Stephen Hawking.
Now that you make that face at me.
He has the technology, but not the steady hand. But yeah, he gets Steven Seagal'd. And then we jump back to the diner, and Ozzy and the kid finally show up, but not before Nathan gives Jen shit about her complaining, which he does multiple times at this restaurant.
That's what she
Yes.
gets.
So this is the funny part too. Now back at the house, the leprechaun's searching for his pot of gold, and with him starving, he looks through the shelves and the counters, and he finds that
This
there's
was
a
the
Lucky
scene-
Charm box.
They had to do this scene.
They had
it was
to.
clever.
You acknowledge that they had to do it.
Oh, definitely. But he takes a handful of the Lucky Charms and throws them in his mouth and spits them out.
Doesn't he say something about the leprechaun like dad? It sounds like he refers to. It sounds like he's
He does?
referring to it as like dad. Like
Nuh-uh.
oh dad. Like he looks at the leprechaun,
I didn't know.
or maybe he just makes a noise. But
I watched a
maybe-
lot of movies with subtitles. I didn't see Dad, but
well, they didn't.
maybe
throw that
they
in there.
slipped it
You
in.
watch this with subtitles as
I
well?
watch every movie with subtitles.
What the hell is wrong with you? Retarded?
I just got...
He's hearing impaired, Steve.
Do they like to be called leprechauns?
No, that's pretty good because I'm sure you've caught some things in here that we didn't. But what does he do after he takes a handful of the shitty cereal?
God, he just fucking gags and spits it out.
And then what does he do?
He just keeps going through all the cereal and shit and throwing it away.
And then he decides to gather every shoe in this house and shine them.
That is right.
And
He does. And they all happen to be Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, it's so
Well,
funny.
everybody else that lives there is wearing their only pair of shoes.
Boots. Just
Yeah, and he stacks them nice and neat on the table, and everything else in the house is thrashed. Now the group gets back home to find...
Bears.
Yeah, that's really funny, because they get back home, and they find that the house is in shambles, except that the table is filled with nice shoe-shine shoes and neatly organized. Nathan insists that the mess is due to the bear problem in this area, and regardless of the nice organized shoes on the table.
That have been shined.
Yeah, and Jen
briefly.
Jen does not care. She wants no more of this, and decides that she's going to leave.
She's out of here.
But then she walks out and finds it's a little too dark, and comes back into the house.
Maybe it's not too dark. She realizes it's too late, and it's not worth it to pay that money for 6 hours of sleep at a hotel.
She could, or she could have literally quoted, "It's a little dark out there," and came back inside.
Could have been an excuse.
Well, I don't want to pay the
I thought Nathan was going to follow me.
They don't have a continental breakfast. I'm not going to stay there. But they clean up the kitchen, and this is where they start hearing noises around the house. And they start hearing this bike bell. It's ringing and ringing. And they look around, and they find that it's just Ozzy ringing the bike bell.
Ozzy.
And the hunk, Nathan, states that he's going to go find the room that he'll be staying in tonight, hinting the fact that he wants Jennifer Aniston to attend. And Jen says she's getting a hotel. So she decides to get a hotel because she doesn't want to stay there. But
Likewise.
Once again, she doesn't fall through. We jump to a scene where Ozzy and the kid are sitting in the front room, and Ozzy asks the kid if he could kill a leprechaun. The kid says, "You can kill anything, you just have to know how." And the kid explains that he would grab a rifle and put it towards the leprechaun's head and blow his fucking brains out. Basically is what he says, right?
Yeah.
So Jennifer and Nathan walk in to tell Ozzy to stop ringing the bike bell because it's
fucking
obvious
annoying.
that it's still ringing. Yeah. But as we see, conveniently, that this bike bell's sitting on the nightstand next to the light. No one's touching it, so it's another bike bell off somewhere. And Nathan insists that the sound's coming from the kitchen, so the group follows and decides to check it out. Now, they walk out there and they don't see anything, so they're guessing that it may be coming from outside. Once again, the group all follows, and the leprechaun conveniently sets up a bear trap.
A cheap bear trap.
It is
They're
a cheap
able to
one.
open. A girl's able to open this.
Oh, yeah,
And
she
he can
does.
get his
And he
leg
can
out.
slip his leg out by the time she lets
Yeah.
it go and it snaps back closed.
Yeah,
The cheap one. I
Nathan
agree.
struggles to get it open, but Aniston can do it with no problem.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty funny. But
You got to give him props though for setting up a bear trap.
you got to give him props for just, or not the leprechaun, but give Nathan props for just beating the shit out of the leprechaun with a mag light here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. This reminded me of that tattoo Paul guy. You know, from Tola that killed. Didn't he kill that guy with the mag light or something?
The guy from G-Town Tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, he did, huh? And then
that's
he
what I
got,
was thinking.
yeah, he was. I went to prison for a couple years and got
Yeah.
out. Yeah, fucking scumbag. But yeah,
The old Dominic Toretto story. Fast and Furious reference.
I don't get it.
I don't.
Nobody likes Fast and the Furious.
Nobody that matters.
Now, Nathan's caught in this trap, and he begins to beat the shit out of the leprechaun with the mag light. Now, the rest of the group attends to Nathan because they're still outside. They're still inside, and they start hearing the noises of the scuffle. Now, this is where the rest of the group's introduced to the leprechaun. As he starts to munch on Nathan's leg, Ozzy rushes inside to call the cops. He just runs up and starts munching on Nathan's leg. It's pretty funny.
I love the
After the bear trap, after he got it all out and everything.
yeah. Well,
Fuck
now
you,
it's
I'm going to
exposed.
bite it again.
What were you going to say, Steve?
I love that. I always think this in movies where people are like, "Oh, there's a leprechaun here and he's killing us," and like they say stuff like that instead of. I always think about what I would say, like, "There's a crazy guy here trying to kill us." You know,
Yeah.
let the cops come, and then I'll be like, "It's that crazy
Look.
little guy."
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell him it's aliens, spaceships,
The
or
attack
fucking
is
leprechauns.
on. It's leprechauns.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Now, like I mentioned, Ozzy rushes inside to call the cops, and he does make that mistake by saying that they're being attacked by a leprechaun. And so
Yeah.
the cops respond to the call with a few laughs. I guess this is not the first time that Ozzy's called in and complained about imaginary monsters, UFOs, Bigfoot, you name it. And the deputy that says, "Oh, that's a clever one, looks like a fucking leprechaun."
He's a good boy.
Yeah, good boy. That's a good one. Now, Alex runs inside the house as well and finds a shotgun. So he takes this shotgun and rushes it outside to Nathan, and Nathan blasts the leprechaun in the face with the shotgun. And at this point, they think they've possibly killed the leprechaun.
He puts like several rounds into him,
He falls
too.
down pretty funny because his arms and hands are so long.
Yeah, he flails around a lot. And I don't know, is it like a dummy or is it him actually flying around the
I think
place?
it's just midget movements.
For the $40,000 they paid Warwick Davis, he was flailing around.
He was.
Oh, gosh. So the group rushes Nathan inside to treat to his wounds. And they decide to sneak back outside so they can actually take Nathan to the hospital because it looks like the wound from the bite is a bit worse than they had thought. So, obviously, the truck will not start again due to that goddamn distributor cap. Guess who gets to go out there and fix it?
Please don't say Alex.
Yeah, you're right. Alex has to go back out there. So he jumps out of the truck, heads towards the front of the car, opens the hood, and this is where the leprechaun, he's just sitting.
This is one of the best scenes in the movie. This and the pogo scene, I think.
Yeah.
And the shoe sign scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The leprechaun's just inside, sitting in the engine, chewing on fucking cables, which is pretty funny.
He opens the thing and he's chewing on the distributor cap he's supposed to be fixing.
So Alex jumps back in the car and the leprechaun starts bashing the windshield in. Now the leprechaun breaks through and bites Ozzy's ear off, like he had mentioned he would earlier.
Make him a little shoe.
There you go.
Yeah, now Jen saves the day for the time being by burning the leprechaun in the face with a vehicle lighter. This is
He
pretty
just
classic.
holds it there for a while.
Yeah, his fucking honking nose.
Yeah. So the leprechaun retreats to the barn.
And this is one of the best scenes. This is what
would
this
have
whole
to be.
scene is one of the best scenes.
This is fucking ridiculous. Now, he busts out of the barn with a mini car with a pitchfork attached to it.
Hold on. The funny part of the scene is he goes in the barn. You hear welding going on for like a second.
They let each other know that, oh no, he's going to the barn, and then he's
Yeah.
bunch of welding, like Steve says.
Yeah. But he builds this contraption within moments, and he busts out of this barn and decides that he's going to just ram this truck. And, you know, when I first saw it, I was like, there's no way. Like, he's going to ram this truck and it's going to smash him. He's going to fly. But no, he hits this truck and it rolls the fucking truck.
rolls.
It just flips it.
That's great.
So it rolls a truck, and he gets out of his little mini cart and walks over to the truck and opens the door and notices the group's already escaped.
Where are the gang, Derek?
The gang and Scooby are out back behind the bushes, just standing there waiting for him to see that they're not there, even though it just flipped over several times.
Yeah. So the group runs, actually. They run towards the house, and they're going to go back inside and lock the leprechaun out. And it's one of those scenes that you see in horror movies all the time where it's so close, and they finally slam the door, but the leprechaun gets a hand in there, and it fucking chops the leprechaun's hand off. And the leprechaun uses his magic to unlock the door. Instead of running in there and wreaking more havoc, he uses his magic to get his hand back. He unlocks the door and the hand crawls slowly out, and then he puts it back on.
He sure wanted that hand.
Oh, definitely. Well, how else are you going to beat off?
Well, I'm not sure. And hold your porn at the same time. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
I just want to make a note.
Yes.
That he mentions that these are the guy at the shop mentions that the coin could be worth up to $500.
Yeah.
He has 100 of them. All this is going on for $50,000.
But then there's historical value.
Yeah. Which could be quite the find.
That could be.
Yeah.
So another thing, during this inside of the house ordeal, there's a very amusing scene where this is the second time it happens in the movie where they're talking and the scene goes whoop, and it like flips and rotates and
makes
stuff.
a noise.
It's hilarious.
Like the transitioning between.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like on a family photo album.
It was
Like a family photo album DVD.
It's like a shitty like Windows like movie maker like option that you can pick. It's pretty funny. But yeah, the group gathers inside and they're thinking of a way to escape. Now Jen realizes that she has a cell phone and grabs that cell phone and reaches out to the police. Now she's lucky enough to get in touch with the police and warn them of the issue right before it dies. So her cell phone dies. Now the sheriff dispatches an alert to the officer that the leprechaun had killed earlier. The leprechaun mimics the officer's voice, telling the dispatch they'll check it out. So there's actually no cops on their way. The group sits helpless in the house waiting for the police that are supposedly on their way, but they're not. Now Ozzy and Alex finally tell the group about the gold, and Jen is the only one capable of retrieving the gold from outside because the boy's too young. Ozzy's not mentally there and stable to be able to go out and handle it.
Nathan's got the hurt leg.
Yeah. Nathan has the fever. You notice he's sweating profusely.
I was just imagining his body trying to kill off all that infection.
Oh, God.
But so she decides to go outside to retrieve the gold, and she takes a shotgun and heads out there. Now, Jen pulls the gold out of the well and is then startled by the appearing leprechaun. He just appears out of nowhere, like you'd see somebody in Star Trek teleport. It was pretty funny.
Beaming him up.
Yeah. But she gives him the gold with no hesitation, and he gives her the gift of life, as well as a nice little kiss on the cheek, and runs off to go count his shillings. Now, Jen runs back into the rest of the group, and the little green bastard counts his gold and finds that there's one missing coin.
They've tricked me.
Yes.
He's very much like Golem.
My precious. Yeah, he's fucking kind of a creep. Now, he gets really pissed off right here when he finds that there's only one coin left.
I can't believe that he gets fucking mad that there's missing one. Like, they could have dropped, there's 100 of them. They could have accidentally dropped one.
He did, right as he gave it to her. He runs over and he drops it on the ground and then starts picking it up and like, wow, my golden delicious gold.
You think
there's coins everywhere.
You think if your shit was stolen or you lost something and you found it and everything was there but one, you'd be like, oh, that's fine.
99% of your property's returned and you're bitching about the 1%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not fuck. Yeah, exactly. Now, he's not too happy about this single missing coin. And he teleports inside the house. Now, where is he inside of the house?
He's in the Lucky Charm cabinet.
Now, prior to that, he's in the fridge. Remember?
That is right.
Yeah.
Old Alex goes walking to the fridge, goes to open it, all meh.
Yeah.
Here comes old Lep jumping out at him.
Yeah, so the leprechaun jumps out and starts attacking him and trying to bite him. Now, Nathan comes over and picks the leprechaun up, throws him across the room, and he lands on the stove. The leprechaun, his hand is on the burning stove, and he pulls it off with a spatula, which I thought was pretty funny.
That was a good act.
He's got almost all of his powers back, but not the one that lets him take his hand off the stove.
Yeah.
With his hand in a vertical direction.
Yep.
And as he takes it off, he says, "We're cooking now, kids."
Another great leprechaun quote.
Yeah,
is this supposed to be the part that was for the children?
I think so. But the leprechaun runs and hides throughout the house as they chase him with a shotgun. And this was fucking hilarious because there's a part of this where he's in the cabinet and they're opening the door and he's not there, and then he opens the other cabinet and he's there, and as Nathan's looking through it, the leprechaun is in the bottom cabinet, reaches out and grabs his penis.
Grabs him by the dick.
Oh god.
He doesn't like do what you think he would do, like rip his dick off or like draw blood. He just gives him a little
he honks it.
And Nathan just goes, ugh. Why would you do that?
What a jokester.
Little penis butt going around. So after he squeezes the head of Nathan's penis,
this movie wouldn't be the same without a little penis butt.
Yeah, so after he does that, he runs around the rest of the house as Nathan's chasing him with the shotgun. And he shoots him once and he gets away. Or he shoots him once and he thinks he's dead, but he realizes that he's not. He gets up and runs off again. And there's one particular part of this chase where he comes out of the chimney.
Yeah.
He just fucking comes down the chimney screaming, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That crosses the line.
But I'm not Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he says. Now, the group continues to chase Leprechaun through the house, and he completely disappears now, but they hear some noises downstairs. And the group follows Nathan as they walk through the kitchen and kind of, listen downstairs. Now, trying to pinpoint where he's at, the Leprechaun breaks through the floor and starts to attack Nathan, and Nathan just shoots him point blank in the face with a shotgun. The phone rings, and Jen answers it, and it's actually the Leprechaun asking for his gold. And
Bastard.
She freaks out, and she fucking throws the phone. And it rings again. And who is it?
It's the old Leprechaun.
And this time he's pulling the new Nightmare gag.
He is.
But he sticks his hand through the phone.
Yeah, it's not the tongue. It's actually the little
It's
hand.
the hand, yeah.
Little baby hand.
Little twigs and shit touching her mouth.
Yeah. So the Leprechaun's gone. I don't know where he's at. He's downstairs somewhere outside. So the group needs to figure out how to kill this Leprechaun. Now, Ozzy has the last coin in his belly, and obviously they don't want to sacrifice his
stomach,
and organs and everything.
And nobody knows it but him and Alex at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah. So, well, they already told. This is where they find out that it's in his belly, because they decide to go to the rest home.
Yeah,
where O'Grady is living. I guess he's still alive, and this is where you find out he's alive. It's a little plot twist there. So Jennifer's the lucky one that gets to go, and she hauls off in her Jeep, and the Leprechaun follows on a pair of roller skates.
And she throws they're throwing shoes out to distract him anytime he gets close so he can stop and shine them.
Yeah. Now
this is post.
Yeah, so with the group heading to the car, they just start throwing all of her shoes everywhere, and it's so fucking funny because he's picking them up, cleaning them in fast motion.
Just can't do it fast enough.
This is This is apparently the biggest weakness, I would say, of the Leprechaun. I would just throw him in a big giant room full of shoes.
Yeah. I just started taking my shoes off.
Or you could
if
just...
the last,
yeah.
You could just keep a bunch of shoes with you. And don't throw them all at once. Anytime he's close enough to hurt you, just throw one really far away. And then just run. And if he catches back up, just throw another one really far away.
Yeah, yeah. So was anybody else thrown off a bit when you found out that O'Grady was alive still?
Well, first of all, they go to get Mr. O'Grady, and it flips around, and it's the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but to find out that he was alive, yes, it did kind of throw me through a loop because I was like, well, what the hell? What happened after? So he just laid there until the paramedics arrived at his house and were like, oh, your wife's dead and you had a stroke. Well, that's
could you do me a favor and light that match in my basement?
Yeah. So she reaches the hospital, and she's looking around for O'Grady, and this is kind of weird because they're trying to make this hospital scary. Like I noticed there's so many like obscure weird angles, like the camera started moving like sideways and like weird. I don't know.
They wanted to film a lot more stuff in there, I think, but they just didn't have the film to do it.
Something. Maybe there's deleted scenes, but Jen finds O'Grady's room and asks how to kill the thing, and she finds that the man in the wheelchair is actually the Leprechaun. And he chases her throughout the fucking hospital in the wheelchair. Right?
And all the way down the street.
Yeah. Going 100 miles an hour.
So she gets to the elevator, conveniently slamming the door of the elevator right before the Leprechaun can reach her. And conveniently, Grady's body breaks through the top of the elevator. And that is an airplane that you
Wait a second.
Where are we?
Where are we going to die?
Oh, it's the fucking TV downstairs.
It's passing.
Fucking jumbo jet.
There is an airport thing right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, there is.
I can't believe that's the first time this has ever happened.
We could cut that out.
Yeah, we can cut that out.
Or we can leave it in.
Well, that's what I mean. I can't believe we've never had to do this before.
They're pulling out all the stops today. The dog bargain, the TV.
Phone dropping.
Derek can't hold on to anything.
Mostly his phone. The Derek.
Yeah. I just put my mouth on that.
All right, so conveniently Grady's body breaks through the top of the elevator. I guess when the Leprechaun attempted to kill him, he stuffed him up there.
It was a good hiding spot.
Now, this is one of those cliche scenes where O'Grady's going to help her out right before he dies. And he pops out, and you think he's dead, but he's like, the only way you can kill him is with a 4-leaf clover. You need to put it on his body.
She
Man,
offers to save him, and he's like, nah, it's too late now.
Yeah. Now, what happens after O'Grady dies here, Derek?
O'Grady dies.
Yes.
And she leaves the hospital.
Exactly.
And he, for some reason, isn't right on her fucking tail like he was 20 seconds ago. But
yeah. So she knows now that she needs a 4-leaf clover, and apparently there is a 4-leaf clover patch.
I thought that this would be a patch that only grows 4-leaf clover. Apparently, it's a patch that grows everything and one 4-leaf clover.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a 4-leaf clover is. Clovers are usually in 3, and the 4 is a lucky one.
I know,
'cause you
but he
find
calls it a 4-leaf clover patch, not a clover patch.
He calls it a clover patch.
I thought he called it a 4-leaf clover patch.
Could have.
Now, I didn't watch this 5 times in the
That's
last
true.
day,
And
so
I
I don't
did.
know, but I can only imagine.
But, well, the thing is 4-leaf clovers obviously do not exist.
Right.
And 2...
They're supposed to be rare, but, like...
Yeah.
I thought he referred to it as a 4-leaf clover patch.
I just got a bunch of them growing in the backyard. He can just shove them down his throat.
Well, what we find out is that you have to have faith
Yeah.
to find the 4-leaf clover.
Just like that song by covered by Limp Bizkit.
God, faith. Oh, jeez. So,
Baby.
so they're out there, or Jennifer's out there trying to find a 4-leaf clover, and she's having no luck, and this is because she does not have the faith.
But you gotta have faith.
Now,
George Michael.
the leprechaun meets Jen at the patch here and starts chasing her throughout the forest. And as she's running through the forest being chased by the leprechaun, she notices that there's a police car's flashing lights in the distance.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So she heads towards it and is going to get the officer's help. But what is wrong with the officer here?
God, he's got his face half ripped off and he's dead as fuck in the seat.
Yeah. He's dead. So she hops in because the leprechaun's right on her tail. And she takes the officer's jimmy stick and bashes it through his fucking head and into his eye.
That is a great one, too.
And he just rips the door off the hinges. And
He's not fucking around anymore.
no,
Breaks the nightstick off and rips the door off the hinge.
I wonder if he's regretting the one coin left. Like, I just got a jimmy stick busted through my face when I could have just let the one coin issue go. But anyways, he breaks in there and he says, "Ooh, an eye for an eye," and he rips out the police officer's eyeball and puts it back into his.
In front of the nightstick that he's broken off into his own fucking eye.
Yeah.
It'll heal it.
Like that, too.
Yeah. So after he steals the eye from the officer, so right before Jen gets attacked by the leprechaun, Nathan just fucking shoots him right in the face with a shotgun and saves him right in time. And this is where the group heads back to the clover patch, and they're all working together to try to get the 4-leaf clover. Now, Alex is setting up a trap in the barn as they do so, and Ozzy...
Little leprechaun's sitting there waiting.
Just watching him set the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Look
Now,
at the hero.
Ozzy states that you have to have faith for this to work. And she says, "Okay, well, I have faith." And she grabs a handful, and all of a sudden there's a glowing 4-leaf clover in there.
All it takes is literally lying and saying that you have faith.
Yeah, so...
Just say you have faith. Don't have faith.
All right, have faith.
So she grabs that. Now, while Alex is in the barn, he starts being attacked by the leprechaun. And the rest of the group goes in there to help Alex, and they help him out. And who gives Alex the 4-leaf clover? You recall, Derek. Thank God you've watched this 5 times.
Well, see, Ozzy runs in there because he ain't going to have any of Alex getting muffled up by this guy. So
Getting molested.
So he tells him, "I've got your gold coin in my belly," so he follows him.
Oh, yeah, and this is where Ozzy gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
A shitload, like, cut up and stuff. He just keeps cutting him up, trying to get in his belly.
I love that.
And I think it is Jennifer.
What's he beating him with? Is like his
He
Western
pulls off
belt
his
buckle.
his boot buckle, his golden buckle, dude, and just starts slicing him in the face with it.
That's so great.
Oh, that's way funny. So Alex by now has that clover, and he wraps it in a rock, or does he wrap it in gum?
His gum, exactly. So that's why I mentioned the gum earlier.
Yes.
It takes its toll later.
Yeah, so he wraps it in gum, apparently. And this is quite the epic scene. Because what he basically does is...
There's a lot of special effects in this scene.
Yeah. He pulls back the slingshot, and he has a funny little quote. He says,
"Fuck you, Lucky Charms!"
Yep, and then shoots it right into the mouth of the leprechaun, and it just completely shoots him all the way back into the well.
Into the old gullet.
Yeah. And he's,
I love the way the atoms swirl around his head after the shot. Like, he's like... He looks like...
And he starts melting, like his skin's melting off his bones and everything like that. And he falls down in the well, and everything seems to be all right. But then he crawls back up and makes a return, just like half-melted leprechaun. And Nathan decides Nathan decides to walk over there and just put a fucking boot on his head and push him back down and pour gasoline down there and burns him up some more.
And then I love the way the well explodes.
Dude, it would. You see how much gas he poured in there, though?
Come on, I don't know.
Oh God, it would have been an explosion.
It could have been the curse, because now the morning hits and cops are obviously there fixing up the crime scene, and the well is just burning still. And a voice over the leprechaun starts, and it says, "I'll not rest till I have me gold. Curse this well that me soul shall dwell, till I find me magic that breaks the spell."
I love the way he had the time to write that poem immediately after he got lit on fire. He just immediately starts thinking up a poem.
Melted. He's just like, oh God.
Yeah. So that is the end of Leprechaun.
He also did a curse while he was being nailed into the crate. He told him he cursed him for all eternity, and he wasn't going to rest until he had his gold. So there's a couple curses that the old leprechaun gives.
Yeah. Yeah, he does throw a few curveballs.
But he takes his time to fuck with you. You know what I mean? He could have killed that cop at any minute, and he decided to fuck with him for 2.5 hours. So it's finally just snapping his neck.
Steve, do you know what time it's for?
Hang time, y'all.
Not hang time. But there, I believe, are a few things here that...
You know what? I think that you guys are going to like this movie. If you like LA Gear shoes, retards painting, midget pogo, cut up dead cow, portable phones, funny exposition swipe scenes, a good shoe shine, and midgets falling down.
A lot of midgets falling down in this.
Several.
I had written down many times just midgets doing this and that, and finally I was like, yeah, that's way too much midget stuff. Because it's just funny watching them do anything.
But now there's lag of midget in this. I just wanted to keep yelling out the word midget, because that's all I kept thinking through the whole...
They like to be called leprechauns.
Well,
yes, or we...
Us wee people have our special ways.
Yeah. There was definitely a huge amount of handicap in this film.
Yes, there was.
You had the midget, you had the fat oaf retard, you had the Elephant Man-esque Jennifer Aniston and her fucking honker.
And you had Mr. O'Grady turning into a handicap person.
Wheelchair geriatric fuck. Yeah, but...
Killed in the elevator shaft.
So this is where we jump into the review, Steve. How do these ratings work?
Well, we do it out of 1 through 5 dumpsters.
Okay.
The best one would be 1, because you gotta have at least 1 dumpster, and 5 is an all-out dumpster fire.
Gotcha.
So I want to hear what you think about the bad guy, the music, if you can recall any of it, and what your rating would be. Go ahead, Derek.
Well, as you have clearly identified the rules of what the dumpsters are, you said you got to at least have 1 dumpster.
That's the
but
best.
You said, but number 1's the best.
Right.
I'm just going to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Bad guys with the leprechaun. I decided that he's just pissed off for being in there for so long, even though he's over 600 fucking years old. 10 years off his life in a crate pissed him off enough to just start going around biting people.
It's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
You're 600 years old.
It is. 10 years, I'd be like, God, thank God I got to sleep for that long.
I get pissed off sitting at a red light an extra 10 fucking seconds.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine sitting in a box for 10 years.
Really ready to kill by that point.
But what were the other things? The bad guy?
Did you remember any score? Well, you didn't tell me what you like. Did you like him? Was he lame?
I like him in the first one. He's all right in the first one. He's a little lame because he doesn't have his character all together yet. You can tell that in the beginning. But by the end,
Comparing to the franchise or just this film?
just the film, just the way that it was started and the way that it had ended. You could tell that by the end, if he would have known that he was going to be this psycho fucking leprechaun the whole time, he probably would have done a little bit better. But I'd liked him as a character. As a character, I like him as a fucked up leprechaun who's going to bite you a lot.
Give you some disease.
Scare you. Does anybody remember the music? If so,
I do recall the music.
What did you think of the music?
The music, it starts off okay, and it starts off pretty well, and then it ends up just being a bunch of... Every time the leprechaun is mentioned or a hat is picked up or anything, it's just a bunch of magical...
Yeah, there's like
Irish
an ominous background noise with like flute playing over it.
Decent.
And like a minor key, so it's just like...
But some of it is kind of rock and roll, and some of it's alright.
Yeah.
But there's that in there.
And then there's that one fucking ridiculous shitty rock song as they're like driving into the town at the beginning. And that's all I remember. But continue. Sorry.
No, I was good on the music.
Now, what is your rating, Derek?
Rating 1 out of 5. I'd probably give it a 2.
Not bad.
Nice.
Not too you'd hope. What was there anything that like without those amusing kill scenes? What do you think it would have been?
Without the amusing kill scenes?
Yeah. Okay. Without the pogo scene, what would you give it?
A 4.
So let's do this.
Half it.
So, give me just bullet point wise why you're rating it a 2.
It's a rating at 2 just because it's a story that, every little kid has to believe in leprechauns.
Okay.
You have to. But no little kid thinks of the other side of the leprechaun except for when you watch Leprechaun. Same thing with Santa's sleigh. You don't think Santa just gets annoyed by all his fucking letters.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The negative side of the
what this is really doing
characters.
to every leprechaun, and that there's actually more than
Sure.
you believe. But I like the kill scene. The bullet points of it is there's only 3 kill scenes. There's 3 people that dies. The 2 O'Grady's and the cop.
Yeah.
That's all that dies. There needs to be more death.
Sure.
There's got to be more at stake.
Sure.
There's not a lot of people
He gets his
that die
hand
in
chopped
Psycho
off.
either.
If somebody chops my hand
definitely.
off, I'm going to kill more than 2 people.
He gets it back though. It's like it's more like if somebody hits your hat off.
But it hurts a lot.
So, you give it a 2. I'll go next. This movie, like I mentioned, was like my go-to when I was younger. So it kind of has a nostalgic kind of hit for me. I've seen it.
The nostalgia.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times. It's unbelievable. But it's not hard to get through. It's something I could watch probably every year around the holiday. There are not a lot of kill scenes, which is a detractor, but the pogo makes up for it. In the classic,
the eyeball.
Yeah, the eyeball.
The eyeball one was good too. Pogo scene has got to be number 1.
The classy one-liners. One detractor that the children may find bugging them is the fact they don't get to see Jennifer Aniston's
Nose?
Yeah.
Her new nose?
They don't get to see any skin really at all. But that's not bad because, movie's not too shabby. The story's decent.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea that, like you had mentioned, when they take, a happy kind of kid's tale and turn it around to put some dark on it.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to realize when, holy shit, we can make a lot of fucking money out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Or, some.
But the thing is why wouldn't they have filmed another scene with Jennifer Aniston showing her titties unless she was too young at that point?
I don't think she's too young.
I just wanted to do it.
I just don't
Maybe
think
it wasn't even on the table. Maybe someone just briefly mentioned it. So, how good are you with nudity? Okay.
But it's unique. Most like monster movies are pretty fucking boring, but this one's has its own. It set the bar, and I don't think there's a lot of other movies like this that are very good.
So, what do you think of the Leprechaun?
I was just gonna get to that, Steve.
Good. I want to make sure.
Yeah. He's unique because he's a real midget. So I mean, it's perfect. They don't have to do anything special with the camera to make him look small. He's just a little guy. The makeup for it was great. He looks really creepy. I wish he was a bit more violent, but he is quite the clever one. And the
And
end,
he's
the end is when
scary
he comes
looking.
out of his shell, when he's missing that
yeah.
one coin. That's when he gets fucking pissed. And you see throughout the franchise that he carries that attitude from start to finish, and the rest of the Leprechauns, if you
That is true.
have the opportunity to watch them. But decent. Not my favorite villain, but pretty good one at that. I'm going to give this, because it has a special place in my heart, I'll give it a 2.5.
Oof, it's pretty low.
Yeah.
Pretty low. As far as the Leprechaun character himself, he's okay. He's definitely like he looks scary, but at the same time, he looks like the creature that Shredder breeds on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. He's kind of scary looking, but he's not that I don't know.
He's kind of like that guy that you thought was going to be an asshole and then didn't end up being an asshole.
He
you know what I mean? You're all right.
He would pop out of the shadows and scare you, but then after you realized, oh, it's just the Leprechaun, then you wouldn't be scared anymore. Whereas, because of the way he looks, but I don't know, if somebody else, say Freddy Krueger popped out, you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Or if Jason's standing there with a fucking meat cleaver or a, you know what I mean, machete, you know what's going to happen. You run.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
And so
this guy's just kind of like, what?
Well, this guy's kind of like this tall,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, well, I mean,
just doesn't brush his
there's
teeth.
certain limitations with the character. I think he's definitely one of the worst, I guess, villain type things. When I think of a bunch of B-movie ones, all the big ones, and then you've got the Pinhead.
Yeah.
You've got all those. I would much rather take my chances with any of them than him. So there's that. I don't really remember the music that well, but I really I love watching this movie. The scenes are so ridiculous that he ends up, they're so over the top, like the pogo scene or all the chase scenes.
Or even the in and outs, like you said, when it cuts between frames, it just spins out.
Ridiculous. Yeah. This movie's really great, and it doesn't feel like it's I don't know how long it is. I'd assume somewhere around an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it takes an hour and a half, so that's great. I would give it a 2 dumpsters. I like it. I've watched it a lot, and it's just fun to watch. It makes me excited for St. Patrick's Day.
It does.
Yeah.
It makes a good one. If I was probably 12, I would have gave this thing probably 10 fucking dumpsters because I hated the fuck out of it.
You hate it because
I was just so goddamn scared of that little fuck. And he's not even, but there could have been so much more that he could have done, but he didn't.
Yeah.
All he wanted was his goddamn gold.
Well, I feel like there's limitations with the character, and they did the best they could with it.
Exactly.
What more could you do? But it's kind of, that's what happens when you pick such a lame character to
He
base
just
your movie
looks
on.
his makeup was done.
What
really
I thought was
well.
kind of lame is that you get the idea that he didn't want to kill people. He gave them tons of chances to say, give me my gold and you're good. Like Jennifer Aniston, she handed him the gold and he didn't know there was missing. He gave her a kiss on the cheek and ran off. He didn't want to kill people. And that's what I hated. It's just
he did everything.
It's just hey, go get the fat boy some laxatives, have him shit out the coin, give it to him, and we'll call it a day.
I can wait.
We'll call it a day. But no, I like when there's no fucking option. When the killer's I'm going to kill you. I don't care if you give me a whole nother sack of coins. I'm going to kill you because of the fucking principle. You took my coins, so you're going to die. That's kind of a downfall, but it's still not bad. It's this is, I feel, a horror movie you could take and give to younger kids and let them watch because it's not really bad.
The only bad thing about it is his ugly face.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to give your kids nightmares, but it's it's not filled with...
Scares himself in the mirror when he's going through all those drawers.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Little penis peekaboo.
Penis
He looks all
peekaboo.
burnt. He looks all burnt. That's what's weird to me is he doesn't look burnt in a lot of it.
He's got weird green shit smeared on his head too.
Oh, his fucking stringy ass hair. But yeah, that's it. I guess it's a decent movie. I'd recommend it. I mean, people that are going to listen to this, I could not imagine you have not seen it.
It's weird if you haven't.
Yeah, but if you haven't, give it a watch. Breast franchise, I don't know. The choice is up to you, whether or not you want to give that.
The second one, they address Trevor's problem with the movie, though. They do show some boobs.
They do. It's I recall that.
Face to the fans.
It's robot boobs, though, isn't it?
face to the fan scene.
Yeah.
Where he goes like stick his face in it, it's in a fan.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I think we're about wrapped up. Any last comments, fellas?
Boobs or not, they're not Jennifer Aniston, so it
No.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'll take that as a no.
They don't prefer to be called little people. They prefer to be called leprechauns. That's
It's
all.
not nice to make fun of a leprechaun, you know. Or wee people. He also says wee people. I don't know. That seems more offensive than little.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Keep in touch. We'll have a new movie coming out here soon. But always scream at us. You can get us at Twitter at Trevor Turpin, at Steve Norman, or at B-Movie Trash Talk. You can also hit us up on Facebook. Derek, do you have any social
And
media?
you can get Derek at his Twitter.
I've
if you
got
like.
all of it.
Oh,
And it's all over all of it.
This is a fucking wow. You got a Twitter?
I do.
This is the first time somebody's had a Twitter that we've
Ever?
had.
Why don't you go ahead and say it?
Yeah. What's
Say
your Twitter?
what it is.
My Twitter is at DRay something. I don't know. I'm all over your guys' shit all the time. Just look it up. It's just enough for you to.
You don't know your
Twitter handle?
Well, you know.
Well, I'm sure we could probably find you here really quick, but we want to give it out. We want you to give it out to the audience so they can harass you and send you.
so they can look at how you
So you can
look.
send me spam.
Let's see. It's at D33RAY13.
All right, so harass Derek, send him nudes of penises and all sorts.
You can send me whatever you
Open buttholes.
Some gaping anuses. Please.
A video Snapchat of a phone being taken out of a butt. But yeah, send Derek messages, send us messages, and we're more than happy to address any questions or funny things in the episode. But other than that, that's it. We're gonna close it out. It was a pleasure, Derek. Always a pleasure.
It is always great to be here with you.
Steve, always pleasure.
Hashtag fuck Anheuser-Busch.
Have a great night, guys.
Adios.
Bye.